Hey, welcome back to Mobility Project. West Side Barbell, is that what that shirt says? Hey, we're standing around with really strong kids here and talking about how to go faster and most importantly lift heavier weights faster, isn't that right?
Yep.
It's not just lifting heavy weights, it's lifting heavy weights faster. Here with AJ. We're talking about squatting and talking about some of the issues about how to get into a better position to finish more effectively. So what's going on with your squat?
Basically, been squatting wide stance, feet out for so long. That's actually became my natural position. We've done a few drills already, so I've gained a little bit of mobility to point my toes forward. But until we did, toes forward position would bind up my hips and put a lot of tightness in there, and not allow me to bring my hips through and finish in a triple extension position, especially on the deadlift. Couldn't lock out properly without overextending and basically changing my posture and not being optimal.
And for the kids at home, we're talking about, what's your squat?
Squat 1140.
Isn't that the world record?
No, the world record's 1220.
Oh, wait.
Class. So, yeah, but so the difference being is the wide position is good, but at a certain point, if your feet are too wide, you can't fire the glutes, so you lose power. So there's still, even in a wide position, you still need to be able to turn your feet forward without tightening up, because then it puts pressure on the knee, obviously. And so just by allowing us to do that, we'll be able to generate more force and finish a lift a lot stronger. Whereas that's usually where you miss a lift is at the end. So.
Check. So here's what we got. We kept it simple for AJ. Couple things. One is that we noticed he was missing all of his internal rotation and flexion. So that's what set you up when we did it. Now we've got the capsule stretch. And what's going to do is a little bit different. Is we're going to use, because AJ has great training partners. He's going to hook that up and he's going to scoot sideways. So we've got the distraction because as soon as he noticed that when he tried to mobilize internal rotation, he told me he was missing internal rotation. As soon as he tried to work on internal rotation himself, he felt what? Tightness. Impingement. An impingement, that's right. Suddenly we get this distraction, maybe a couple hundred pounds, and when he starts working on internal rotation, you'll notice he has a ton now. We did work on a little bit, but this is perfect internal rotation, especially in the range. I would call this normal and neutral full range. So one of the things that he could do, even before squatting, is have a training partner, a super friend, load up the back of the hip, just actively like this. I'm just weighing on it. We got the distraction, and then he can internally rotate, and I'll just take him to the end range. Go ahead, internally rotate, and then I'm just following him. So it's just like kind of doing a PNF kind of style thing. I'm just activating with him. He has to now work in those new ranges, mapping that with his body, and then his training partner can just hang out at those end ranges while he's being distracted. I'm just laying on, the hip is now in the back of the socket. And before, when he went for internal rotation, the hip kind of came up and became superficial, and that's when he was having that capsular binding. So pretty simple way, and especially when we have strong athletes, this is a simple way. He feels supported, he's still in control when internally rotate. Ooh, look at that, fantastic. And that's easy and quick. All right. And then our second piece, so we walked over here. Very simple. We noticed that when we just put him on his stomach and brought his heel to his butt, very, very tight, overextended. When I'm short, under high loads, it is hard to finish, and especially if this is where I'm going to be missing this quad range. And so what we're focusing on is how do we open up the hip. He can mash his quads open all he wants, but in this position now, we've got the big band. This is probably 200 or 300 pounds of band tension, maybe 200. Right in that gluteal fold, pulling that hip anteriorly. We don't challenge him just based on pure musculature. We're working on through that whole system. And then I can wind up. He's doing a good job of keeping the hip over. I can bring that foot into a little, internally rotate the leg. And then as a super friend, of course, you can always be talking about, hey, did I tell you I squatted with Amy today? Laura Phelps, like a dream come true. The strongest gym on the planet. Right? Hang out here. Super friend is now oscillating, and he's doing a great job of keeping that butt on, so we're mapping that position in range. And after doing that, what did you feel? What was your retest?
Oh, just in the squat position here, can go wider and down, keep my natural position without folding. I still get tight at the bottom, but if I bring my feet in, and even before with my feet in, I couldn't rotate my feet forward. Now, feet in, feet rotated. I can break parallel in that position without my feet rotating.
And you'll notice he's not perfectly straight. 11 degrees, that's fine. What we are seeing though is he does a beautiful job and his ankles are not collapsed. So he can turn out as far as he needs. His as long as he doesn't collapse that ankle, and we put him into the best position. And one of the things we don't want to confuse with our athletes are, is this an issue of weakness or is it an issue of position? And for
Right.
you, clearly, it was weakness.
Position, yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm just kidding.
There's no capsular versus flexibility or anything like that.
West Side Mobility WOD, it's the dream. Talk to you guys tomorrow.